have a privilege because we have another speaker. Okay, she is from Guayaquil. She is Marta Castillo, and she works for the University of Guayaquil. Okay, Marta has been doing research and many presentations. She has a good background, so for me it's an honor to invite her, and I think that we are going to learn many interesting things today. So, Marta, welcome, and we can start.
Thank you very much, Andrés, for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here and have the privilege to share and learn from each other, okay? I really want to have, since the topic of this webinar is collaboration, so I would really like to hear from you and learn from you, okay? So just keep that in mind, and so let's just get started. So I can start now sharing my screen.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, thank you. Yes, more people are joining the session, so I need to make sure that they're in the room. Okay. So this is a topic that I'm going to be discussing about this afternoon with you teachers, English teachers, colleagues, but before I start, since Andrés said I'm also well, actually, I don't only work at the University of Guayaquil. I'm also a science teacher. So I'm also a high school teacher. I work part-time in a bilingual school. So I am also going to share some of the experience that I have dealing with 8th graders. So these are the students that just finished elementary school and now they are in high school. So this is a different background, different learning styles, interest towards the university students that we have at, at undergraduate level. So I'm sharing this background because I'm going to be sharing from both experiences. So in case we have university teachers, they can also take something useful from this presentation, okay? And so in order to start, I would like to share with you these two keywords, collaborative, okay, and meaningful, okay? Because when we talk about collaboration, we talk about working together, right? But what is the plus of being meaningful or working in a meaningful environment? This is what I want in this session for you to discover, all right? And also to take a kind of self-reflection about our own experience as teachers, okay? And also with the environment that we need to be dealing with, right? And as a way to please to show courtesy, I would like you to please turn off your mics. Okay. Okay. I need to find that option. Thank you. Good afternoon. Sorry, I just need to click on. Okay, I'm gonna mute them all. Thank you. So this is, for instance, one of the situations that we have to deal with our own students. And as I said before, since this is a new environment, we also need to know some some digital citizenship that I'm also going to share with you, hopefully during this session. So I would like to start with sharing this very short survey that I have for you. So I'm gonna share it in the chat box. So you're gonna be able to use the chat box and and answer the survey. So please, I will give you 1 minute because it's only 3 questions that I would like to have as background from your own experience in terms of collaborative tasks that we plan or we design for our sessions. All right. So just let me know if you were able to check and to answer the link. If you have access, then you can answer the survey. Good afternoon, welcome. Perfect, thank you. So when we talk about this question, how much collaborative is your class? This is an invitation for you to self-reflect about this. During this emergency situation, we were not asked if we wanted to change the way that we were given our classes. We were just forced based on the situation that we have, okay? But also, these skills are the ones that are needed now to interact in these kinds of the scenarios that I am just sitting in front of my computer and I have around 30 participants from Ecuador, and I know that there is also a Ph.D. colleague from Peru, because I'm also doing my Ph.D. in Peru, she is here learning with us. And so this is what we want to know. How much collaborative is our classes now during this emergency? We can say that now we're experts in emergency situations, but what about the way that we plan our classes? So this is basically what I want to find out with this survey, okay? So if you finish with the survey, now we'll continue because I will analyze the survey later on. So you can, the ones that are joining the sessions now, you can continue with the survey later. In order to talk about a little bit about theory, because collaborative environments are not new. However, I'm going to show you how we can implement them, we can reinvent them in this new environment, and also to be like more conscious about the importance and the relevance of this task when it comes to the learner production skills. So what we have there is a theory, the theory of the experiential learning cycle. And in that theory, we have some concrete experience that the teachers are the ones that design this experience. But the moment that we will decide what would like our students to learn. All right. So it's not only the verb be, but also how they can introduce themselves. So we always need to think about the receptive skills in learning English, reading, listening, and also the writing and speaking productive skills, because these are the ones that are going to show our students that they are really producing the language. So we have also this reflective observation that somehow can be related to the silent period, that the moment that our students can be like quiet, shy, but then somehow they start producing. So this is the idea of what to show you today, because all of this background of this framework about this active experimentation with this abstract conceptualization, that means that this is not only teaching basic topics, but also the concept. And when we talk about concepts, we talk about systems, we talk about general ideas, right? And from those general ideas, our students can find a connection with the learning process and their previous experience. Then, bingo, we can have a student that finds something meaningful in class, and in a collaborative environment, they can be able to share. what they know. So based on this, these are the skills that we need for these 21st century skills. So as you see there, collaboration is there, and it's in the learning skills, right? With critical thinking first, creativity, then of course collaboration, and finally communication. But I don't want you to see it as an independent thing, because when you collaborate, that means that you are ready to share what you know. And that means that you have moved from the leadership skills and life skills to share with others. So that is why collaboration skills are like the hardest thing to achieve in terms of a class, because of all of these strategies and routines that we need to create in our own classes. When we talk about critical thinking, of course, our students need to be problem solvers, all right? And with that, they need to activate their creativity. Why do we need creativity in an English class? Because as long as we have something to find a solution, then our students will activate their imagination. They will think outside the box. So don't be afraid to be surprised by your students. And you can also challenge them by saying, okay, so you're ready to share your idea? Surprise me. So you can also encourage your students, okay, to be part of your class, to notice that you really matter about what he or she wants to share. Because again, don't get me wrong, but when I say that we need to teach the language, it's because sometimes as a high school teacher or as a university teacher, we might think that we're teaching a subject like history, math, arts, but actually we're teaching a language. So when we teach a language, we're also teaching a skill. Okay, so it's not only about the scores and grades that our students are going to get from us, but how well they're going to be able to produce the language and be able to be in a competitive world, where they're going to need all these life skills, soft skills, empathy, leadership, initiative, but everything needs to be in terms of collaboration. And I'm not going to talk about this because this is not my topic, but then I'm going to ask you teachers, okay, how good, and maybe I can type this in the chat box, how good do you collaborate with your teams? Okay, so that is a question to think about, right? Because when you are able to learn from your team, then that is what you can also project to your students. All right, so it is important also to have a team work where with colleagues you are able to also learn and share from each other, so that way you're going to have this two-way communication in the institution. All right, so after this theory, I want to share this framework. So since we're talking about this digital and virtual instruction, I found this framework for you, CHATS. And it was created by Priscilla Hindley and her wife, David. And I'm going to be explaining a little bit about this acronym that we have here, because this CHATS framework is the one that could be like a reference for us in order to consider what it is needed in order to have meaningful collaborative tasks, which is the purpose of this presentation. So I'm going to start with content reading strategies, and before I continue, I want to explain something in my slides. And Andres, I know that Elizabeth Ortiz was before sharing about virtual instruction, blended learning. Jermaine McDougall was also here talking about content integrated learning. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to combine what you have been learning from Andrés Rodríguez here and during these presentations. So I'm going to combine everything in a suitable way for you to see that if you can do it. Okay, and I would like to start with this content reading strategies. Okay, and for these content reading strategies, what is one of the main problems that we have as teachers in terms of reading habits? And this is one of the research studies that I have with some colleagues. Okay, the problem is that we have no access to free reading passages. So what I'm sharing with you is this website, which is the one that I use in a university level, but as you can see, it's K to 12. So that means that you can use you can be curious, so you can check what this website offers. It's totally free, so you can just sign up as a teacher, then you can include your students, and you're going to be able to select the reading passages according to the level, according to their interest, and according to the content that you are teaching. All right? So when you have these kinds of free strategies and this is also another research study working with open source resources. So in that way, as teachers, we don't need to spend money on finding things that are free for us, because these are teachers helping other teachers. These kinds of open sources resources are for us to be and improve our own class sessions. So one of the activities that I personally use for with my students is a vocabulary entry. So I need to make sure that in a full screen you can see the slides. Okay. So then you have a vocabulary entry. So that is a new word that you can take from one of the reading passages. Of course, I'm talking as a student. So I took the word offspring. Okay. So inside the content, that word has a specific meaning, right? The offspring of a cactus is genetically identical to its parent. So that is for a science class. And of course, the definition is also for science class. But then I'm gonna ask my student to put it in another context. So in that way, I can make my student to think beyond the class and to be able to activate their prior knowledge, activate content integrated learning, and be able to produce. Of course, if a student is working alone, maybe they might need help. That's why we have those guided reading procedures, groups of 3 or 4, so they can also type 10 facts about the reading passage, so they can read again, they can include more facts, and when they check the sequence of events, then they can summarize the idea about what the main idea of the passage is. So that way you're gonna be working in reading for main ideas and also reading for specific vocabulary, okay? So 1 word a day in elementary schools or at undergraduate levels, trust me, it works, okay? As long as you are able to combine these elements, and at university level, you can work with a glossary where you can include the new words, the content, the definition, and the picture. Then you're gonna have a visual learner to be activating more and more vocabulary. That is gonna be recycled in the following sessions, and also worked with their classmates. All right. So let me see if I can move this. Okay, no. So I need to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. Oops, doesn't work. Okay. Let me find a solution immediately. There it is. Okay. Okay. So this is what this content reading strategies I have for you to share this afternoon, and we can now go to the to the next picture. And now I'm going to talk about, I'm going to put you in a case that we also have to deal with when we talk about higher order thinking skills. All right, and you have a picture there. So maybe in the chat box, you can type what's the name of that person. Okay, that picture can be used for an English class or in a history class, right? As long as we're able to find a connection, we're good. So who's that? Who's that man and that horse? Who's that man? I would like to read that in the chat box. Okay, no one? Perfect, yes. Simón Bolívar. Yeah, Simón Bolívar. So now, I took this character because whenever we think about evaluations, we always think about, okay, what color is white horse of Simón Bolívar, right? So what I want you to think about is about this exercise that I have here in the slide. So I want you to please look at the picture and type a question that you would like to include in a test. So if you have that picture for your students, okay, what question can you include in a test? So I will give you like 30 seconds to answer. Okay, perfect. I have one answer. Okay, I would like to read another one. Thank you, Raquel. Great, perfect. Okay, yes, that's the name. So I have two questions there that everybody I think can read. Okay. Okay, describing, right?
What did you watch in this picture?
Okay, so you mean description, right?
Mm-hmm, description.
Okay, right. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, when was he born? What is he doing? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Now, I want you to now think about if you look at all these questions, okay, most of these questions are related to remembering, understanding.
History, no?
Okay, so when you are asking these levels of questions, okay, you are making sure that students remember only basic info, only facts. Okay, yes, okay, only facts about who was Simón Bolívar, what year was that. So that is very specific details that in order to understand maybe a context where he lived, okay, so we can be like very limited in the way that we can make our students produce the language. That's why these higher order thinking skills, these are the ones that provoke application, evaluation, and creation of something new. Okay, so this is what Bloom's taxonomy demands when we know about the first levels, the basic levels of the knowledge with the lower ordering skills, and then we can switch this to maybe something like that, right? So in that way we can invite our students to have an individual reflection about what they see. So you can also combine history with language. By the time that maybe a student can read a passage about Simón Bolívar and then he can see the movie, right? And for elementary for elementary school students, we can just show excerpts. You know what excerpts are? Chunks of a movie, chunks of that movie that we want our student to analyze, and then we can have those kinds of questions that are like richer questions, more demanding, and of course, when working in small groups, they're going to be forced to find solutions together, to communicate to each other. Maybe they're going to use L1, okay, that's a fact, but that is part of what they really want to share and know and learn, okay? So like I said to our teachers, this is just one day at a time. So you can, if you can be monitoring and improving all these aspects, that would be awesome, okay? But then remember that then they need to share with the whole class, and maybe then that is a moment that you have to that you can find something really, really rich in terms of working in small groups. All right. So I'm reading also your comments in the chat box, and right. So again, but you can also go to like I said before, because this is something that a history teacher taught me, that you don't need to only learn about the facts. You need to understand the context where that person lived and why that person made those decisions. So that way you can have that evaluating level question. Is there a better solution to what Simon Bolivar did in blah, 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 blah? And then you invite our students to activate their knowledge, prior knowledge. Okay, if I were Simon Bolivar, what would I have done, right? Okay, so Luisa, you have a question. Okay, Luisa.
For thinking learning or thinking teaching, I have a question. What did he do to get the freedom, or what did Simon Bolivar do to get the freedom?
Right. So this is like a gym exercises that you need to warm up, and then you also need to also read, because you will also find some guidance from other teachers' resources, so you can find more examples of what of the type of questions that would like our students to answer in small groups, right? So to put you in a picture, just imagine that analyzing or applying is like a bag, okay? So that is the bag of knowledge you have, so you can take the knowledge to another context. So that is what we can make sure that our students can be able to move, and also to
maybe for the introduction, like an introduction, a brainstorming, or some words.
Right, as an introduction, or maybe as big questions, because that is what we use in understanding by design. When you think about, okay, these are the objectives I have for during this term, so then I plan, in this backward design. So I start from the objective. This is what I want for my students. So I'm going to start with this big question, okay? And then I can follow the process, all right?
Yes.
So you can also activate their curiosity. That's something good in our students. Our students are curious. Okay, so the more you play with these questions, of course, like I said, this is the art of asking questions. Okay, so this is not an easy task, but I tell you that the more we read, the more we share with others, the more that we can learn and apply in our classes. All right, and also Regarding assessment, this is that was a very hard moment for me when I was doing this presentation, because I thought that I see that assessment is like a huge thing that maybe another speaker can come and share. But I just want to focus on students' self-reflection. So whenever you finish a class, you can ask that question to your students. Okay, what did you learn today that you didn't know before, right? And then they can go from lower order thinking skills, or maybe higher order thinking skills. It doesn't matter, as long as you know that they have something in that bag that later they can take and put it in another context. Okay.
The collaborative work, because this is one of the 21st characteristics, okay, for the students in this century. But remember that it is a relation in terms of when they are learning something in the university, because it's useful when they go to work. Okay, when they go to work, okay, in the different places where they have, you know, that the collaborative work is normal. So everybody, you need to be adapted to these realities, environment. So you need to be placed in some situation that you need to deal with some other people. So it's very important that our students, they learn how to control, adapt, and how to deal in this cooperative learning, because we are preparing them for the real world.
Right, and actually, now that English language is not part of the faculties, right? Because they're not more included in the undergraduate programs. So students need to, before they go to titulación, they need to finish their English studies, and they need to take an international exam. So that way they can approve the B1 level. Okay, so having this interaction and going beyond verb B and you know, this lower order thinking skills, they really can have like more chances to get this need. And also, this is something that I'm also studying with two other colleagues. I think that we as English teachers are the really ones that promote soft skills, because hard skills are promoted in their faculties with their undergraduate programs. If I want to be a chemist, then I need to learn all the process and everything. But what about being a leader, learning how to collaborate, and being a problem solver? Who are the ones that promote that in our classes? That's something that we are researching about, so in that way we can continue showing the profile of the English language teacher at undergraduate levels, where we need to find a solution when, if I need to show the use of should, I have a headache. What should I do? Oh, you should go to the doctor. Oh, but I'm forcing my student to find a solution for that. Okay, so simple like that. And then of course, with more complex situations, then that is something that we would like to get to know a little bit better, right? So what is really our power as teachers? Because that's something that we also do in elementary schools and in high schools. Okay, and I'm talking from experience. Right? So that is how I would like to finally finish this presentation. I hope that you find it useful, and I would really like to be sharing with you, to have this network of amazing teachers, because being here Saturday afternoon sharing, that means that you really want to learn, and that's something that I really, really appreciate it. those are the things that we as teachers need to see from each other. Okay, and we need to praise each other, right?
Thank you, Marta, for your contribution to this space. Okay, that's what I said before. So I really admire this group of colleagues that they are reinforcing their knowledge. Okay, because I know they are great teachers, but they feel passion and eager to learn more and more. So I congratulate you, Marta, because I know that you are working so hard and you have more to contribute to that. So I say to my partners that I see now more people. So in this Saturday afternoon, so I'm feeling satisfied because these webinars had been going ahead to different group of English teachers. So you are always invited. You're cordially invited. Invite your partners. Okay, if you have your colleagues that they want to learn more, invite them. So share the link and tell them about us, that we are doing this every Saturday. So the idea is that these online webinars grow more and more with the contribution of you all. So thanks everybody, and thank you, Marta. I'm so glad that it's an honor that you were here.
Thank you.
And I do this for you.
Thank you very much for the invitation. As you
Okay.
so whenever you want to say hi, I'm just a click away.
Thank you, Andrés and Marta. Thank you very much.
I appreciate
okay.
your help.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss, for your help.
Thank you.